Hello, your instructor here again. Before we start writing JavaScript code or learning to write JavaScript code, I want to introduce you to the code editor we'll be using throughout the sections in this course. The name is Visual Studio Code and it is a product of Microsoft. So if you're a fan of Microsoft, Visual Studio Code is one of their best products out here for you. And go to your Chrome. This is my Chrome. I go to my search bar, I type Visual Studio Code. I hit enter. The first link that comes up on the page should be Visual Studio Code link. I go ahead and click on it. It takes me directly to the Visual Studio Code website. And you can scroll down and read documentations, use cases, and every other thing. But for the purpose of this video, I will just go ahead to download Visual Studio Code for you. Now, the good thing about the Visual Studio Code website is that it automatically detects your operating system. So if I was on a Mac OS, it should be reading here download for Mac OS. But since I'm using a Windows computer for this course, it says download for Windows. So whatever operating system you are learning with, whether Windows or Mac OS, you should just go ahead and click download for Windows or download for Mac OS. So when I click download, it says here, thanks for downloading VS Code. And if I go to my download bar, you can see Visual Studio Code is downloading for me. Now our download is done. If for any reason your Visual Studio Code did not start downloading, it says here download not starting, try this directly. You can also click on this link to download it. Mine is done. I will click on this file and it pulls up the Visual Studio Code installation panel. You accept the agreement, click next. I think you basically want to click next the whole time while installing Visual Studio Code. Since there are no extra configurations you need to do, I click next and then I click install. Now my Visual Studio Code is installing into my computer. And the installation is done. Click on finish. So if you are able to download and install Visual Studio Code, this is what your welcome screen should look like. I'll just take this out. And if you're a fan of customization and making things look the way you want, go to this setting icon, click on it, scroll up to themes, color themes, and select any kind of theme you want to be on this Visual Studio Code. But I think for me, I will leave things the way they are by default. There is just one thing I want us to tweak here. Go to the setting icon, click on it, select settings, go to the search bar and type autosave. This is the autosave setting. By default, it should be off. Now you want to change it to unfocused change. The reason is because we want our code to save automatically. We want Visual Studio Code to be able to save our code automatically for us, even if we forget to save it, so we don't have loss of code. And the reason it should be on unfocused change is anytime we focus our mouse out of the Visual Studio Code window or we focus on any other software, the code we wrote will be automatically saved for us. So you leave it here and that should be all for now. Thank you for watching this tutorial, and on our next tutorial, we'll be diving into writing our first line of code.